guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, you guys can see by the title, we are going to be doing a tank clean on the Snails. Now this video was not planned. I did not plan on doing this tank clean this week actually. I do water changes on my bladder snail tank about every 3 days. So the water quality, while yes, it is not the best, it's also not the worst. Bladder snails are extremely hardy, so while they can stand terrible water conditions, I'm not going to let them live in that. Like, you know, I'd like to keep that tank pretty clean. However, a couple nights ago, I went in there to do a water change like I normally do and also feed them and check on them for the day because I do check their tank every single night. And of course, as my horrible luck would have it, the tank was overrun with those little detritus worms. Again, this is the second time I've had those worms. So of course, because it's a little bladder snail tank, I didn't freak out, I didn't panic. It wasn't any big ol' emotional thing. I mean, obviously I hate worms, I hate them, I hate that they are in there, but I understand that they do serve a purpose. People always tell me in the comments, the worms serve a purpose, it's kind of like an ecosystem, blah, blah. Okay, it's disgusting. Like, I just can't live with it. I can't sleep like knowing they're in there. So I decided to clean the tank out completely. I got rid of about 90% of them. There's a few left, but basically as long as you don't feed the snails for a few days, the worms will die. Like I said, I've been through this before. Obviously, I'm not treating the tank or anything like that, but I did want to do a clean just to get the bulk of them out because there was a lot of them and it was really alarming. I did film all of that footage for you guys, so you'll get to see the full tank clean. Unfortunately, whenever lots of food or debris gather on the bottom of a tank, especially like a little snail tank like the bladder snail tank, which is really hard to clean because there's so many little baby snails in there, I can't really gravel vac it. So I took all of the gravel out of there, hoping that it would cut down on any chances of worms or being able to clean the debris out easily without crushing any snails. But unfortunately, I did end up getting the worms, but I actually think that I held them off for a really long time because I've had that bladder snail tank for like a month now, what, more than that, like over a month. And this is the first sign of those worms that I've had. And I will admit there was quite a bit of debris on the bottom, so it needed a big clean. It's all good. The bladder snails are definitely thriving, that is for sure. Okay, hope you guys enjoy the little bladder snail tank clean. All right, so here is my snail tank that's in my bathroom. You guys have seen this tank plenty of times before. So unfortunately, this tank is infested with those detritus worms that I had before in the other tank. I'm not that stressed out about it. I'm okay because luckily they are isolated in this snail tank. So I know that there's none in my 10 gallon, there's none in the big 36 gallon, and I know that even though I've been doing water changes every 2 to 3 days religiously with this tank, I think that it's just, unfortunately, there's just an accumulation of old food and debris at the bottom of this tank, and this tank is extremely hard to clean. So I'm going to try and show you guys. The blue light really doesn't help with filming, but once the blue goes away and turns into one of the other colors, you'll be able to see all the snails and all of the worms. There are tons and tons of worms on the glass, so you can see them there pretty clearly, as well as tons and tons of snails. I have a ton of snails in this tank. There's lots and lots of them eating down there. You can see all the debris of food. Now, I only put 2 pellets in here a week, and that's it, just 2 of the algae pellets, and they eat almost all of it, but there's just so much like remnants and poop and stuff like that. So the worms have taken over. So now I'm going to show you guys how we're going to combat these worms. So I'm filming all this on my phone. I apologize if the quality is garbage. We're just rolling with it today. My phone's way easier to film with in the bathroom than my camera, but so this is what I'm going to do. I have a strainer here with 2 paper towels lined in it, and then basically I wet it so that the paper towel is really stuck on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently pour the snail tank water in here, and that's going to get a lot of the debris out, and then I can pick them out and put them back in the tank, if that makes sense. There may be like hundreds. This is going to take me absolutely forever, but here goes nothing. Take the filter off, which has lots of little snails all over it. Can you guys see all the little snails on the filter? That's all snails, so we got to be careful with them. Now, these are bladder snails, so tap water is fine. It's not going to kill them. Trust me, it's not going to kill them. All right, so we're just going to dump this out completely. I want to take out this plant. Take out
the moss ball, take out this little rock hide, which has little snails all over it, and we're just gonna lay it up here, being as careful as humanly possible. And dump this down the drain. Alright, I've got a little bit of water in this tank and I'm just going to slosh it around a little bit. And then I'm going to dump it in here as well. That is done. So here is all of the snails and the rocks and the debris all completely dumped out, and the strainer is catching all of them, so I can just pick them out and put them back in the tank. That worked out really well. Here we have little baby snails all over this. I'm just leaving them there. I'll get them and put them back in the tank. It's not a big deal. Here we have the actual tank, and you can see all the snail eggs. This is snail eggs, snail eggs, snail eggs. They're all fine. You cannot get those off the glass for anything, so I leave them. I don't bother them. I don't remove them. Of course, we have a bunch of snails that stuck on the wall and stayed in here, which is totally fine as well. Again, we're not going to get out all of the worms. I just wanted to do a really, really good clean to get out as many as I possibly could. And now the task of picking out every single snail out of here and putting them all back into the big tank. I'm gonna be here a while, guys, just warning you. This is my biggest bladder snail. She's also my favorite. She's absolutely huge. I can't wait to see how big she ends up being completely when she's full grown, but she's super, super big. She's my biggest one, and I also think she might be my biggest egg layer. I think I got them all, so they're all in there. As you can see here, there's tons of them. I have tons and tons and tons of snails. There's a really big one right there. You guys can see pretty clearly. There's a huge one. I do have to finish filling this up, but that is all of my snails. There's another really big one down there. So we're gonna go on and finish filling up the tank, and then I'm gonna prime it, and then I will show it to you guys clean. All right, there we have it. I'm gonna turn the light out so you guys can see a little bit better, but all of the snails are now back in their tank and it is clean. I still see some worms. You guys can see the detritus worms, but I'm not gonna feed the tank for a couple days and they should die off because it's completely clean and they don't like clean water, so. All right, guys, I wanna give you guys an update on the snail tank today. This is the day after I did that huge clean, so I wanted to show you guys a little update and see how many of those little worms are left. And as you can see, the clean definitely worked. I see very, very few worms. Also, don't worry, I sanitized the sink really good after I was done with the water change, as I always do. In the next couple days, the last little bit of these worms will be gone. I'm gonna turn the light out so you guys can see them better because this tank always looks so beautiful when the lights are out, so hang on. So here's the tank with the lights off. It's so pretty. I love this tank so much. I wish I could keep it in the living room, but I already have 2 tanks in there and I feel like 3 is a bit much. So it works out really well in here in the bathroom, but the snails are doing really, really good. They're just crawling around. And like I said, there's very, very few worms left in here. I hardly see any on the glass at all. And as long as I don't feed it for about another day or 2, the snails will be fine. But as long as I don't feed the tank any more wafers for a couple days, the rest of the worms will die off. They will be gone. After a couple days though, after the last bit of the worms die off, I will need to do a big water change again, because that will cause an ammonia spike in here. Even though the bladder snails are unaffected by ammonia spikes because they're just so hardy, it's still good to do, you know? I do a lot of water changes. So that's it. Look at my big snail back there. Oh, I love her. She's so big. Okay guys, that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me clean my bladder snail tank. Definitely not a planned video for this week. I know I've been filming a lot of tank videos and snail videos and prep videos and haul videos and things like that lately, but this is where my life is taking me right now. Obviously, I still did a moo video. I still did a koa video recently, so if you guys want to watch anything that isn't related to tanks or snails or fish, I have lots of videos for you guys to watch as well. Just go back a few days and you'll see that I post about 3 videos a week, so there's plenty to choose from.
Moo is doing amazing in her tank, by the way. I really want to do an update on how things are going from moving her in the 20 gallon. If you haven't seen that video also, I will link it for you down below or on the screen. But yeah, so things are going really good right now. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. I'm having a lot of fun filming them for you guys, and I'm really excited to get fish. Like, it's gotta come. It's coming very soon. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you guys next time. Be kind. Bye.